Hey mini enthusiasts, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. Today Mark is back on the Mk3 Cooper S project. He's getting well stuck in and it's getting quite technical now, getting really stuck into that floor pan, ready for the body to go back on and start being rebuilt back up. So it's a bit of a turning point today, bit of a milestone. It's going back together now, which is absolutely fantastic news. Before we get into that though, I just wanted to say a big thank you to I don't know who. I received an anonymous package. It come in the post. Now this happens to me quite a lot. I order stuff on eBay late at night, maybe after a few drinks, and I completely forget about it. During the week, postman turns up with a package and literally I'm like, I can't remember ordering that, and I open it up and then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. And in fact, years ago, I remember ordering, in fact, I don't remember ordering, a package turned up one day and it was a Harrier jump jet fan blade from the jet engine, which I then had fuzzy memories of ordering something late at night. So anyway, thank you very much, whoever you are, please get in contact and let me know. So I received in the post this lovely indoor car cover here. And a set of mini special arches. So there was nothing in the box, nothing to say where it come from. So whoever it is, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. The cover will come in really handy because I go through car covers like no tomorrow. As you see, and as you would have seen in the videos, when I'm working on the cars over the winter, I put indoor covers on them, but they get covered in overspray. They get a load of dirt and rubbish and that sort of things on them, and after a couple of years of using them, I just throw them away, to be honest. So it's nice to have a nice summer indoor cover. What's quite nice about this actually, it has a zip up the side, so you don't have to take the whole cover off. If you're going inside the car, you can just unzip it and open the door. So whoever that is, thank you very much. Please get in contact and let me know. My email's in the description. And yeah, let me stop waffling on. Let's get into this week's video and get this Cooper S Mk3 back on the road.
All right, welcome back. So, jig is all done. I am now gonna put the floor and the boot floor on, get it all lined up. I have made sure, so I've squared up, made sure the back and the front supports are square. The measurements between the rear hill board and the rear subframe mounts are square and same measurements. So basically, so what I've done is I've made it so this is demountable. It's obviously a big lump, but once it's basically in 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. These centre pieces are just 4x2 box, and that's just lift it off the main bed because there's bolts and stuff holding it all together. I'm sure I said in the last video, obviously I've cut the tops off a subframe, adapted them and welded them to these supports, so it will take a tower bolt and twin bolt. The rear subframes are obviously pretty much all the same, but the front subframe from Mark 1 and Mark 2, the mounting point are obviously the twin bolt, and the mounting points on the lower sections are different to the Mark 4, 5 and 6. And so once I do get a Mark 4 shell on here, then I can just drill the extra plates I put on to line up for the Mark 4, 5, 6 and 7 shells. So yeah, welding's obviously getting a lot better, but it is thick steel, so you know, got to learn somehow. So yeah, I'm gonna get the floor on, and then I'm gonna get the rear boot floor on, and then just check everything lines up and is equal, and then I'm gonna fix the boot floor to the main floor, and then the next job after that will be to dismantle the floor from the main shell and take the shell off the floor, plonk it on, Bob's your uncle, penny's right. And then once I've done that and we've pinned it where it needs, clamped it where it needs to go, spot welded it to suit, and then I can start taking panels off. But the main reason for doing this is I can put the floor on this, and any future cars I do, I know it all lines up, and when I take the shell off of that floor and put it onto this one, I know everything is flat, square, and in line, so there shouldn't be any twisting and stuff like that. So I didn't have to do it. I just felt, doing everything on a rotisserie, you're just asking for trouble. And I kind of, obviously I've nicked the idea from Paul Hickey, and I've been looking at Owen's Fabrications just to see how they've sort of done front mounts on the select jigs, rear mounts and stuff like that. They've got other things that they do, but I think for what I need, for the cars that I do, this would just be fine. So anyway, stop waffling on, and I will get the boot floor on, and I'll just show you how it all sort of lines up. So yeah, obviously floor on. So the main reference point I've got at the back is obviously the heel board and the subframe mounts. So I need to, I'll get the brackets on. I'm just using these trunnions just so I've got the bolts for it, so I'll just use them. Now at the front of the car, or the floor, there's flexibility in this part here. So the holes I have for the subframe mounts match a subframe and the measurements from the centre point on the jig and the floor. So these holes don't fully line up, but they just kind of need levering in place, and because of the flex here. I have a centre point on the jig which I've scored into the box, and then I've squared that up, and then that lines up with that centre point on the floor. The centre point there has been taken from an equal point each side, and that's within 0.5 millimetre. You can kind of see that there's a bit of movement there, so I'm going to get these bolts in, then I'm going to get the boot floor on, and I'll show you how I've lined that up and get the measurements right on that. So we've got the bolts lining up on the rear subframe holes. And then the main measurements I have is basically from the rear heel board to the first rear subframe mount hole, bolt hole, which is 600. So that's the same both sides, and the only other reference I've got with this overhang is by squaring off the floor and then measuring from the front seat point to the rear heel board, which gives me a measurement of 171. Which is equal 171 both sides. I have taken that measurement from the existing car as well, and that is 171. So that all lines up. It sits properly on this flat piece through here, and so the next thing I need to do before I bolt this on is just clean up the bottom end of this boot floor, so I can get the tongs in to spot weld that on. I'll clean that up, get that bolted on, just check some measurements from front to back, and then I'll get that welded on. What I've done, just to double check the front to back, the overall measurement, I've set this up on these turrets, if you like. The distance to the centre is 25mm, and so I've got a cold, and so the measurement I've got to work with is a measurement that I have pulled off the internet. So I'm going from the centre of the single bolt on the subframe mount, front subframe, which is actually to the reference point is that hole there on the rear of the floor, and then so that measurement is 1585, and then from that 0 point there to the rear subframe rear bolt is 693, which gives me a total of 2278. So that's the measurement I'm working to. And so when I measure that and take off the amount for the from the edge of here so I'm going to pull my tape from that point there, and then I've taken off the measurement off there, which gives me the measurement of 2280. So I'm 2mm out. Now we have to bear in mind that it's a new floor and it's a new boot floor, so I would assume that that isn't exactly the same as what the original floor boot floor would have been. So a 2mm tolerance for me is acceptable. So I'm going to work with that measurement of the 2280, and then one other measurement just to check that it's square at the front of the boot floor is from the edge of the boot floor to a point on the heel board. I've got 125 there, and I've got exactly the same measurement on that side. So I know that that boot floor is square to that floor. The measurements are within 2mm front to back, so that's, I'm going to mark that and I'm going to fix that in position. So I'm not going to record all that, so I've still got to take that off, clean that up underneath, get it all lined back up, bolt it on, and then I'll get, hopefully the tongs are long enough to spot weld that on. Right, so I've cleaned up the floor, so obviously I've got, just while I had it out, I've just cleaned up around the battery box holder. Obviously that's where this part spot welds in, and then I've also cleaned up the rear seat part and down these both these sides. and you'll notice it's obviously a later floor, so I need to cut this part out of the old floor and weld that back in. So I've just cleaned that up. So battery cut out. So I've obviously sprayed all the bits I've prepped up with weld through zinc primer, and then I'm just going to fix this on. Welcome back. So I've got new tongs for the spot welder. So I've just put a couple of spots at either end on the floor to boot floor join, and then we're gonna, so if it keeps here, we're gonna take the bodywork off the floor and then plonk it on the new floor. That's the theory anyway.